Hi everyone. So I finally got round to doing my spring video update, and we're actually into summer. It's taken me that long. I was going to put it off a little bit more because it's been a little bit windy today, but the garden's clean and I thought I'd just like to get it done, and then we can sort of compare with the end of summer as well. So just to really see how everything's coming along, see what I've been up to, see what's changed since the last video. So I'm just going to take you on a little tour really of the garden and yeah, show you what I've been doing. So the fire pit's looking really good. All the plants seem to be doing pretty well. Still some spaces in here which I want to add some palm trees that I've got growing in the greenhouse, but that'll be probably next year when they've taken nicely, because I just this year I've had quite a lot of palms delivered, so waiting for them to get a nice root system and then they'll be tested in the garden. But yeah, as you can see, everything looks pretty healthy around here. The only thing that's not looking great is the Grevillea, which I'm not sure why it's gone so yellow. It might have been getting too much water maybe, so I've turned that down and see what happens. The Albethea is looking really good. I'm training it to grow along the top of the wall as well, so that should look nice next year as well when that flowers. So yeah, everything's looking nice in here. So the hammock area is doing nicely as well. The tree at the back, which is I always forget what this one's called. I'll have to double check that one. It's got yellow flowers. It's a bit like an Albethea, but it's got long yellow flowers on it. But yeah, everything's starting to grow nicely here. The bananas are just starting to look okay after winter. And yeah, the good thing is the tree's growing over the hammock area now, so it's really nice under there. You can sort of lie down even in the middle of the day and it's nice and warm. Just starting to get some flowers coming through on the plumerias. The bananas are looking really good, those ones. And the pentas are all looking great this year. They were only planted last year, but they're already grown pretty big, and these red ones are my favourite, although I've cut them quite heavily back, so they're not looking great, but the flowers, they're the nicest ones in my opinion. The Avery's looking pretty good. If you'd seen on a last video that we turned it into a pond, we put a proper pond in there. Now you can just see the tortoises crawling across at the top, and we put some metal on top so that they don't fall in. And we've got a couple of fish in there as well. I'll take you inside and we'll have a little look round in there. I really don't know what he's maybe just wanting to cool off a little bit. So yes, this is looking nice. We've got some fish in here that's quite shy. You can see them swimming around normally, but whenever you open the gate to come in, they always go and hide. We've got some lilies in there now. Need a couple more plants in here really, just to create a nice ecosystem. And got one trying to crawl up my leg. Yeah, the birds are happy. I think I've said this before, but if you're doing an aviary with birds, don't worry too much about the plants. Obviously, as long as they're not poisonous, don't worry about the plants too much, because they're not going to look great. The birds like to chew and nibble, and as you can see, the stream is full of bits of plants that we have to tidy up. And the birds are just in their little home, in their little house at the minute. And this area will get more shaded as all the plants grow, which will be nice in the future as these trees grow over and give more shade inside. Yeah, it's nice in here. As you can see, the pool and the tiling's still not done. It's, as you can imagine, it's a fairly big job and we want to do it properly, so we're just biding some time until we can get that done exactly how we want it, really. This area is doing okay, not really changed since the last video apart from things growing. But yeah, it's doing okay, and obviously the seating area through there is nicely in the shade. We've added a bit more, a couple of things, but nothing really too interesting. I'm still having this issue with my Dipsis madgarensis, which I don't know why. It's got 3 spears that have unopened, and it seems like it's still growing. It seems like it's healthy. It's just not opened yet. I thought it would open when we had some heat, but we've definitely had heat, and it's still the same. So we'll see. The putting green's looking good. Now it's all edged with gravel and plants. This was done this spring, so this is all looking nice. It's all taken well. Added some plants to these strips as well. You may have seen I got some Erythrina crystal galleys either side. One's just holding on to its last flowers now, but they're one of my current favourites. Very nice trees. Make a lot of mess, but when you're a gardener, obviously the nicer things do make a mess, so you just have to deal with that. I finally got this border gravelled, which seemed to take forever. Got some plants in there, some colour. I probably will end up changing or replacing a lot of these as the big tree in the middle grows, but I just wanted to get some colour in for now and get some bits growing in there. Put a few palm trees in, Dipsis cabadae, Dipsis sororiensis, and yeah, this Livistonia. Not too much interesting, but some colour as well. And then at the end, we've got the water deposit in now. We're just waiting for it to be connected. It's almost 40,000 litres. So that's going to be good when it's all up and running. So it's a good size. And we've got the pump house there as well. So all the terrace, when all the terrace is tiled, I've already got the drains in ready, but all the rainwater will come into here. Hopefully in the future I can be connected to the agricultural water, which is very cheap, but in the meantime I can get lorry loads delivered, which is healthy for the garden and a lot cheaper than using the mains water. Plus I plan to here install a fertilisation system which goes directly into the water, so from there I can automatically irrigate all the garden but also fertilise it as well. So you can see just a few flowers. A few flowers still on here, but fading now, and with the wind as well, it's been knocking them all off. But yeah, they'll look really nice in a few years. The borders are starting to fill out a bit. We lost a few bottle palms this year from the cold. I've got a few that are still alive in the garden, but some of them I actually dug out, the ones that survived, and I'll just keep them in the greenhouse and probably put them in pots eventually when they look nice, and I won't bother planting them if they're going to have trouble in the winter. This border's looking good next to the house. Put a few different palms in there. Dipsis lanceolata we put in, another Alexander. These plumerias are very, very nice. One of my favourites. They've got like a leathery sort of finish to the leaf. Chamberoni and Macrocarpa are in there as well. If I had delayed the video, this would have probably had a nice big red leaf, probably by the end of next week or during next week. So, but I'll put some photos on Instagram. That one's growing nicely. The only thing is it gets a bit too much sun. It gets shade in the afternoon from the house, but they don't like that much sun here with the dry winds that we get. Yeah, and everything else is doing pretty nicely. Everything's growing. The silk floss trees have really grown nicely this year. so they'll have a lot of flowers on at the end of summer. I was worried about the crotons because I wasn't sure, it was the first time I planted them, and this was a nice red one last year, and I wasn't sure if it would die in the winter or what would happen really, but it's come back really strong. Not as much colour at the moment, but maybe the colour will get stronger as the summer goes on, so we'll see. Really many casualties, like I say, apart from the bottle palms. Everything else is doing okay. T-Rex has really taken off. I only bought this last year as a tiny little plant that was shipped from the UK, and they grow very quickly. The jacarandas have done really well this year as well. Lots of flowers, and they've lasted a long time as well. So I've got a couple down there, as you can see, and the last one seems to flower differently than the others. Seems to hold the flowers more upright, whereas the others seem to be quite droopy. So that's a really nice one down there. And the front, again, not too much has changed in general. I did redo the stream took out the stream basically, made it like a dry riverbed and put palms and plants in, and just had the water feature at the top, which works a lot better, less maintenance, less issues, and I just think it looks better with the plants in there as well, breaks it up a bit. We did get some palms in at the start of spring. I got this nice Kentiopsis soliviforums, which is lost a couple of nice leaves, but it's held 3 of them and it's got 1 growing, so that looks nice. We've got a Kentia in there as well, a Pritchardia here, the foxtails by the door, by the steps. They were put in maybe 3 years at the wrong time of year and took a real hit, and as you can see they still don't look great, but they're definitely taken and they're definitely growing, and they're starting to look more like palm trees now. So as you can see, the dry riverbed, we've got some nice palms in here, a Latania, red Latania palm. I've put this Albethea in to grow out and give shade to the Kentia especially, but just to give some shade in this area as well. And this is Alexander Archontophenix maxima. We've got here, we've got a Vieccia, supposed to be a Johannes. It was debated whether it was a foxtail cross, but I don't think it is. I'd be very lucky if it was. Livistonia chilensis, Archontophenix cunninghamia, and we've got another Pritchardia in there. Like I say, the water feature as it is now, it looks nice, and it's just a lot less fuss really. Obviously the water is below it, and that's all that you need to do. It doesn't run down the stream to another deposit, so it's all in one place basically. The Tipuana tree is looking really good this year. I've never seen it with so many flowers on. But this year, at the beginning of spring, we did use chicken compost that we've been making on all the plants. Took a long time to do it all, clear the gravel, put it down, put the gravel back, water it all in, but it's definitely worth it. And it's definitely needed here with the sandy, rocky soil that we have. Foxtails looking great as usual. Put a few new palms in here. We've got a Kentia bellamora. We've got some Dipsis plumosas back there as well. This is a nice Archontophenix. I'm not sure what type this is. I think it could be a Beatrice. I'm not sure. The Bismarcks are doing okay. Planted some new trees. We've got there, the red flowers, they're really nice. I've got a couple of those in. We've got the cassia, which is just absolutely taken off. In fact, looking at it, it does need a big trim there because it's going over the mango tree. We've got a few. This area, I've never really been happy with this area, but it is starting to grow. Things are starting to grow. In the future, I'll probably plant more palms in this space as well when it gets a bit more shade. This is the north side of the house, so we did get the Becaria Phoenix in, which is one of my favourite palms as well. My royal palm's doing okay, nice and big. This has been one of my big projects this year. I've done myself a nice potting area. I've got the shade cloth on the roof, that's 50% shade. I'm not sure what's going on under here if I'm doing anything with the shade. We also got the old shade house that we made out of an old greenhouse. And then we've got my new greenhouse, which I built recently, trying to do a proper install really. Of how this is taken on. We've got the fan down here. We've got an extractor on the back side which may need upgrading, but currently it's doing okay. When we get into August we'll see how it is. I do have double shade cloth on here, so I have the 50% and then we have a green one that's laying over the top, which is I believe 70%. And we've got lots of palms in here. Did a few big orders from Floribunda this year and we were very lucky with the delivery and so on, that they actually arrived and everything was okay. I also ordered a lot of seeds from Palm Talk, from Bill Austin and Justin and a few other people, and everything, well, almost everything germinated apart from a few. So we've got lots of nice palms growing in here. So I'm excited about this. For myself and also fellow collectors, of course, people I know, whatever. Of course, the majority will be for me, but if I've got 30 Bentinkia condopanas, I'm not going to plant them all in the garden. So I can also share things and maybe sell some things as well. So yes, we set it up with twice a day. It comes on with a humidifying spray which comes out these, and then at the moment twice a week I have everything being irrigated twice a week and the sprays twice a day, and just testing at the moment so things don't get too damp but they also don't get too dry, just to keep a nice balance. And obviously we want to keep the humidity up in here, so I have this reads the temperature and the humidity and will tell me the full day or full month how it's been, and then we've got a thermostat there that kicks the fans on when it gets too hot in here, which I can also use in the winter if it gets too cold, but I don't think I will bother with any heating. I do have the water barrels which will store heat in the day and release those at night, so I might have to get a few more of those. So plans at the moment of things I have to do. Actually happy for a change to say that they don't involve too much work for me. Obviously the pool and getting this area tiled is one of our main priorities. Short term I don't think so, but hopefully for next summer that should be done and we can actually use the pool next year, hopefully, fingers crossed. One thing I would like to do is this area you see between these two long beds is make some sort of pergola out of metal that we can train plants to grow over, and then have a table and chairs in this area, like a long table and chairs, and then eventually you've got the plants growing over from both sides. I've got some jade vines growing in the greenhouse, so that should be interesting. I'd love to have those hanging down from the trellis, so that's the idea. And apart from that, not a lot really for the short future. Obviously get the running. the idea eventually where the trampoline is to have a football pitch over there. I'd love to build a little skate park for the kids, and obviously for me to injure myself on a game. But I'd love to do that in the future. But these aren't sort of things we've put time frames on. So yeah, we're just happy now that we've got an area all the way around the house which we can maintain fairly easily. Everything's automatic. We don't get too many weeds now. Things are starting to grow, so generally it's all pretty good at the moment. The only thing we're doing at the minute is spraying the palms so we don't get infections by the red palm weevil. And obviously I like to fertilise every couple of weeks just so everything looks nice and healthy. But really, because I've been doing a lot of work in the garden, it makes the maintenance very difficult. But at the moment I can just worry about the maintenance, and I'm not deep into any projects now, so it's nice for a change. So I will do a video over coming to the end of summer, and I will do some small videos of anything that I do in between, and then we can see how things are growing, how things are looking, and if I do start any projects, yeah, I'll keep you posted. But thanks for watching, and thanks for being interested in what we're doing here. And if you're doing anything like this yourself, like a tropical garden, please let me know, because I love to watch the videos on YouTube as well. So yes, anyway, I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, bye bye.